had 5 pupils. First pupil, his name was Santien. He practiced the centipede style. He was known as the centipede. In fact, the speed he moved was as fast as a centipede. Ha! Ha! Now, number 2 practiced the snake style. He was known as the snake spirit. He had the speed of the snake. The snake style is known for its incredible agility. Agility and speed. Now, the third one, number 3, practiced the scorpion style. This style resembles the scorpion pincer. A little later, so he never met number 1 or number 2. After number 3 left, I took on pupils number 4 and 5. Number 4, in fact, was older than number 2 and 3, and he practiced the lizard style. The lizard is a very agile and nimble style, and particularly effective in climbing. When it's mastered properly, it enables a man to climb like a lizard. The 5th pupil, he practiced the toad style. 4 and 5 knew each other, but never met the other 3. The toad style is immensely strong and immune to nearly any weapon. When it's properly used, it's almost invincible. It can even bend solid metal.
What up, everyone? DJ Anubis here with you on the Military Radio Podcast with another episode of Lone Wolf with Dub. As you can tell, the movie choice this time is The Five Deadly Venoms. Without a doubt, my favorite martial arts film of all time. A little bit of a breakdown of how I came about. Like growing up in the 70s, obviously a lot of the stuff that I saw was Bruce Lee related stuff, Fist of Fury, Into the Dragon, stuff like that. So even though I knew other martial arts films existed outside of the realm of Bruce Lee, I didn't really see a lot of them until like the early 80s when late at night on TV, this particular film popped on and I was like, ooh, this looks fun. And instantly fell in love with it. And then there was like a quiet period after a while, just as I was growing up in the 80s and whatnot. And I think more in the 90s, when martial arts films started kind of coming back on TV a lot more often. And some of that was due to like, you know, Jackie Chan and Rumble in the Bronx went to the theaters. And so my interest sort of regained in that, even to the point that I started discovering other films like The Bride with White Hair and stuff like that. So a lot of cool films that I had not even known existed. Some even related to the Shaw Brothers, who is the studio behind the Five Deadly Venoms. And they went on to make a slew of great films in their catalog that I like. And it's interesting because the characters for the Five Deadly Venoms actually have a legacy and are now classified as the Venoms going forward in other films. So it's like, you know, such and such film featuring the Venoms, you know, it's kind of cool how they did that. Where it just kind of stuck with them the rest of their time as actors and martial artists. This particular film is directed by Chiang. No pun intended there. Cast consists of Sheng Chiang, who plays Yang Te, who is like a a lizard-style hybrid. He was actually a sixth member that was created to, and I'll get into the story more later, who didn't have enough time to learn any particular style like 100%. So he was like this hybrid that can adapt. But our main five, Phillip Kwok, who plays He Yongzin, plays the lizard style. Xian's son, who plays Ma Chao, who is the scorpion. Meng Lo, who plays Ling Shen, is the toad, which I'm going to stay right now. Toad is my favorite style. And I love Meng Lo as an actor and martial artist. I see him in like The Kid with the Golden Arm and stuff like that. I really enjoy his work a lot. Feng Lu plays Xiang Haozhen Tian, who is the centipede, and Pai Wei, who plays Qing Tong, the snake. Plot is the sixth and final pupil of a dying martial arts teacher is instructed to find the teacher's 5 former pupils and to defeat any evil ones that are among them. So yeah, our plot is basically laid out. You know, these 5 venoms are out there under aliases, and they're searching for a map that leads to treasure. Now, the centipede and snake, as they stated in that little intro there, introduction to the venoms, is that they knew each other. And so basically, they're already working towards trying to find this map. Now, they're also working with the scorpion in some ways. And I'm just going to throw on some footage here while I'm talking, but you know, you can see centipede and toad fighting there. That comes a little later, but so centipede and snake are working with the scorpion, but they don't know the identity of the scorpion because the scorpion always wears his mask. And the other 2 guys, they don't wear a mask, but they do have different names they go by. And their only time you realize who they are is when they actually reveal their venom style. And so in this particular fight that you're looking at, you can see right there, Centipede is being exposed now to his type of fighting style. And Toad is actually at this point trying to apprehend the Centipede because early in the film, Centipede and Snake, they end up finding a guy named Yun who has supposedly has the map of the treasure, and they end up killing him and the family. But Centipede is seen by a witness. Now there's Ma Chao, the scorpion, but no one really knows his identity at this point. But you know, you kind of figure it out early on. He's at least one of them. Now Ma Chao and He Yadan, they both work for the cops. Like they're both like police enforcement. So, and even though they don't know who each other are in terms of, you know, like styles at that point, they friendly to one another, but you know, you find out the motives are different. But the witness that they had for the centipede is coerced into changing his testimony, and he ends up blaming the toad, who was the one that apprehended the centipede to begin with. So then there's like this fight that breaks out within, you know, the cops and everything, where Toad is like, I'm not going down for this, you know, and this dude's armor is like invincible. Like it's hard to even hurt him at all. But what ends up happening is out of the blue, like a pair of like throwing daggers or stars hit the Toad behind the ear. And that turns out to be his weak point of his armor. So with that, coupled with the fact that they had built this thing called the Iron Maiden, which they throw him into, further breaks down the Toad's armor, making him weaker and able to arrest him. And so at this point, they put Lian Shen into jail. So the Toad's in jail right now for the crimes of the murders. Now, Heo Yang, I don't know if I pronounce his name right, the lizard guy, he's sort of teaming up with Yang Te, who's that lizard hybrid. You'll see him fighting there with the scorpion. And so they're trying to figure out what's going on in terms of who's the identity is what. So they're like, Heo Yang actually has to leave the city for a while. And during that time, the Toad is assassinated while in jail. He's killed, unfortunately. So this kind of leads us all down this road to this final battle here, where eventually the lizard and lizard hybrid had to team up and work together to fight. And at one point, it was mainly just the centipede and snake fighting them, while Ma Chao, the scorpion, kind of watched. And they didn't even know he was a scorpion even at that point early on, until it comes later evident by his sarcastic remarks and whatnot. But the snake is the one that actually figures it out, and that's when Ma Chao kills her snake, or attempts to. And the snake does eventually fall. You can see he's hurt there badly, but he does get a nice shot on the scorpion at that point, as you can see there. And I'm not going to show you more of that, but yeah, so it's very cool. Eventually, they're all fighting down towards the death to try to get I think the map was grabbed by the scorpion at some point, but now was the time that they were going to go and spread the wealth or something. Like the two guys that would end up winning, those lizard guys, and they were going to do good with the money. They were going to stick to there were teachers' wishes of not doing evil deeds, where the other three were taken care of. This movie is just so much fun. The whole idea and premise behind it all, the idea of the Venom styles. We can go through the course of martial arts history, talking about different movies that, the Mantis style, the Tiger style, Dragon style. There's so many different things. And this was just so unique for me at the time. I think I was about 12 when I first saw this, and I was like just in love. Like, even though it was like a very abrupt ending, as most martial arts films at that time do, it was just very fun. In fact, it was kind of funny because I recorded it. And so when I was watching it and the ending happened, I thought maybe I missed something, because they were just like done, gone. And I thought, oh, man, I must have stopped recording before it finished. But no, that was the ending. That really was how it ended. So just an overall fucking great movie. Nothing to hate about it. And like I said, the Shaw brothers have so many great films within their catalog of material that, some of these guys appear in some of these other films, and they were just known as the Venoms. All great actors, all great martial artists. And every time I see them on screen, I get a smile on my face with whatever movie they're doing. Highly, highly recommended. And I'm sure most people who are in the martial arts and Kung Fu fandom know this film without a doubt. But if you have not, it's one you have to see before you die. I know this film shows up on that top 1,000 movies you have to see before you die. So yes, they are correct. This is a film you must watch. It's gripping. It's got a good story. A lot of like surprises and just a lot of fun, man. Just so much fun to watch this. And the martial arts choreography is great. The guys do a great job with this. And so 10 out of 10 still for me. No doubt about it. And later tonight, Neko and I will be 9 p.m. Eastern getting together with Mr. Tony the Dead and his wife, Shayna. And we'll be doing an episode of Global Unscripted, talking about a couple serious topics a little bit, just diving into the social world a little bit and giving our thoughts on some of that crazy shit that's out there. So we'll have that up at some point. And yeah, outside of that, I just have to get back to figure out what we're doing. There's some things I canceled that I was going to do with some reviews, just because so much time's passed and just not really feeling motivated, because I don't think the movies really stuck out to me as much as I thought they might. So some things I've dropped off the radar, just going to move on to other things, concentrate on some other stuff I want to get done, more importantly. So check out the top 5 rock and metal albums of the week. I threw that out there yesterday. So good stuff there to check out. And new Oxygen Destroyer just came out, Guardians of the Universe. So check that out as well if you get a chance. See you next time on Metal Time Radio Podcast.